Hare Krishna, let us begin today's Bhagavad Gita class with our auspicious invocation mantras. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai. So let's go to our memorization verse for the week. 15:15. Chapter 15, text 15. It's our last day of saying this, the last day of the week. Tomorrow we won't have class because we're having a drama. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sarvasya chaham ridi sannivishto matas mrityur jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvaraham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Wow, that sounded so nice. Let's do it again. Sarvasya chaham sannivishto matas mrityur jnanam apohanam cha Vedaischa sarve ahameva vedyo Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. And the English song. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness by all the Vedas. I am to be known, indeed I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Woo. Okay, very good. So let's go to where we left off in chapter 18. Let's see, we did unity and diversity. Oh yeah, we did knowledge in the three modes. We left off on 23. So now we're going to talk about action in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Ready? Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatakritam apala pripsuna karma yattat sattvikamuchyate. Pragati?
That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for creative results is said to be in the mode of goodness. Purport: regulated occupational duties as prescribed in the scriptures in terms of the different orders and divisions of society, performed without attachment of proprietary rights and therefore without any love or hatred, and performed in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the Supreme without self satisfaction or self gratification, are called actions in the mode of goodness.
Yeah, so these actions are regulated. So yeah, mode of goodness, when you have a mode of goodness life, then you do things in a regulated way. Like You wake up at a certain time every morning, you do this, and then you do that. You have a routine that's, yeah, fixed and balanced and healthy and according to scriptures and progress, like it's helping you make spiritual progress, like that. And you're doing that without any attachment. So, you know, when we're attached to things, then we become emotionally invested in them, you know, and then if something happens where we can't do it, we get all upset about it and we start hating the person that is causing a impediment to us doing what we need to do. And yeah, or if we can do it, then, you know, we're like very happy or something, you know, so just kind of like detached, equipoise, doing it because it ought to be done, because it's your duty, because it's prescribed in the scriptures, and without trying to get some material result for your sense gratification out of it. That's a mode of goodness. So yeah, this is something that keeps coming up. All right, then mode of passion. Yat tu kame psuna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate bahulayasam tad rajasam udaritam.
But action performed great effort seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion. I have a question then.
Yeah.
So then, uh, of course, as like humans, we have some needs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are doing any action out of because it is your need, like for example, if you're eating because that is your need because you're so hungry, so would that be called as like in the mode of passion because that is your need actually?
No, then it's more like a duty, right? Like it's our duty to take care of our bodies. Right. Something that's
Yeah.
actually a need is more like a duty, like you need to keep your body clean and fed and drink water, and it's like your duties to yourself, right?
But is it like we should not be too much into doing these facials and doing too
Yeah.
much?
We shouldn't be indulgent, right? So there's a difference between what we need and what we want, right? So the basic necessities of life, we need food, clothing, shelter, like that. But then when it goes beyond that and we're getting like our 47th pair of shoes or, yeah, you know, going for, you know, all kinds of beauty treatments, plastic surgery and all this stuff, then that's like beyond what the person needs, right? I mean, unless the plastic surgery is like medically required or something, but you know what I mean, for functional purposes. But you know what I mean, like when we're just self-indulgent and yeah, he says enacted from a sense of false ego that we're doing it to try to, you know, inflate our ego, be better than the next person, gratify our senses beyond the needs of the physical body or beyond the needs for our basic, you know, mental health stuff.
Good.
It's I like the point like in the first in the before purport, it was written without attachment or proprietary rights on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I feel we assume that it is our right to be doing something.
Well, proprietary means like that you think you're the owner, isn't it? Isn't that what that means? Like you think you're the proprietor? So we think this, I own it, this is mine, I can do whatever I want with it. Kind of thing.
But isn't it like even if you need something, you should not be thinking like a proprietary, like someone is hungry. I know like few devotees are like serving prasadam the whole day, and at the end there is not even a single plate left for them. That is like their need, like a genuine need, but they're like, it's okay, if Krishna wants, he will provide me. So it's like, I don't know where how to think about it. It's like, okay, this is my need. I'm starving right now. I would cry. What am I gonna do?
Well, maybe they're not starving, and maybe Krishna always does save them a plate somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They have faith in Krishna that if they just serve, everything's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And they probably have experience that it
Yeah.
generally works out, or they might even know that someone saved them a plate, or they might have actually even saved themselves a plate before they started serving. You never know,
Mm.
right? But in any case, if they're not worried, then they're
Yeah.
probably okay.
From so many devotees. I was serving the whole day and there was not even prasadam left. And then some Prabhu from the back
Right.
came that
See, that always happens, right? Krishna never lets his surrendered devotees starve. Okay, yeah. So mode of passion, these are the basic elements that are always there, is that, excessive effort, just working way too hard, pushing yourself beyond your limits to get something, and get what? Get sense gratification, to gratify material desires, and doing that from a sense of false ego. So it's very characteristic of mode of passion. Okay, and then text 25. Anubandham kshayam himsam anapekshya chaporusham mohad arabhyate karma yat tat tamasam uchyate. Go ahead and read that, Kritika. You only have.
that action performed in illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Sorry, can I read one more time? That action performed in illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. But what? One has to give account of one's actions to the state or to the agents of the Supreme Lord called Yamadutas. Irresponsible work is destructive because it destroys the regulative principles of scriptural injunction. It is often based on violence and distressing to other living entities. Such irresponsible work is carried out in the light of one's personal experience. This is called illusion, and all such illusory work is a product of the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, so mode of ignorance means a lot of distress. Yeah, think it's something that's against the principles of the scriptures, or just total disregard. Like, I don't care what it says in the scriptures. I'm going to do what I please, right? And then someone will say, "Oh, but if you do something bad, then you're going to get bad karma for it." I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You believe that. I don't believe that. Or, but somebody might get hurt. Don't this is causing like bad consequences for other people. That's their problem. It's not
Mhm.
mine. Don't bother me about their problems.
Just say me.
Huh?
They are like, okay, you don't say me anything. I know everything.
Yeah. So that's mode of
Like that.
ignorance, an illusion, right? They
People like that, it's so bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people in the mode of ignorance nowadays. They just do their thing. They don't care if other people get inconvenienced
Yeah.
or hurt, right? They don't care, without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others. So irresponsible people who are just totally like narcissistic.
Yeah,
And-
that's the word I was looking for.
Uh-huh.
Narcissistic people.
Yeah.
They're abusers. Oh my God.
Yeah, abusive people are like that, like people who are pedophiles and stuff. It's like total illusion. It's totally against the scriptures. It gives them really bad karma, but they don't care. It messes up the poor kid's life. They don't care. It
Yeah.
messes up their life. They don't even care. They're just totally ignorant.
Which karma they're gonna get after their life ends. I just wonder that Krishna must be so mad at such people. Because
Yeah.
they cause so much distress, not just distress, but like
Damage.
misery and
Yeah.
damage to
Permanent
people's
damage.
heart. I mean, what is the cost of that if you are doing that to somebody?
It's heavy stuff. Yeah. Okay. Text 26. Mukta sango naham vadi dhrityutsaha samanvitaha siddhya siddhyor nirvikara karta sattvika uchyate. Divya, would you like to read? text 26.
I would love to. It's kind of loud where I am, but I guess I'll just listen. We're getting ready for Rath. This weekend's Ottawa Rath.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. No worries. Go ahead then, Pragati.
One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. A person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. He has no expectation for the result of the work entrusted to him, because he is above false ego and pride. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He does not care for success or failure. He is equal in both distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in the mode of goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're doing the workers. The what's it called? Karta. Karta means the worker or the doer. So this verse here, text 26, is about the worker in the mode of goodness. So he works without false ego. He works with determination and enthusiasm. He keeps working steadily despite success or failure. And so he's in the mode of goodness. Sometimes you see Srila Prabhupada in his purports and even maybe in the translations, he brings, when he's talking about the mode of goodness, he'll kind of bump it up to the spiritual platform, transcendental platform, right? Like he says in this translation, one who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature. But the mode of goodness is one of the modes of material nature, right? So, and then Prabhupada starts off his purport, a person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. So, yeah, Srila Prabhupada is always very eager to, become transcendental, become beyond, rise above the modes, be situated beyond the influence of the modes. So whenever he gets a chance, he puts that in there. But the verse, though, is actually speaking about the mode of goodness. So transcendental is a little bit more because transcendental entails Krishna consciousness, right? Which is what Prabhupada says. A person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. But even in the mode of goodness, the person has no expectations for the results of work, right? He's not thinking, what am I going to get out of this? And even if he's not getting anything out of it, he's still enthusiastic to do his duty and keeps going with determination until the work is completed. Says he doesn't worry about the distress undertaken. Yeah, so sometimes when we're doing some work, we're doing our duty, there's some distress, right? Like some problem arises or some difficult situation to solve or some conflict with somebody that we're trying to work with or something like that. But a person in the mode of goodness doesn't worry about it, doesn't get into anxiety about it. Just like, okay, we're going to work through this. Let's figure it out. It doesn't get like all anxious. And is always it doesn't become discouraged either. Because discouragement is kind of like mode of ignorance, because you know what you have to do and you know how to do it. And it's just a matter of just doing it. And if somebody comes along and says, oh, what are you doing? That's so useless, or you're totally unqualified. Who do you think you are to try to do this? That's like,
Their problem.
that's their problem. Like, you know what you have to do and you know how to do it and you just need to do it. Like, don't let some grumpy person, like, make you stop doing what you know you have to do. Or make you doubt yourself or, like, put you in low self-esteem and depression and dysfunction, just do it. Just
They
do it.
themselves are so depressed. Like, how can someone is capable of depressing other person otherwise? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the reason that people are like that is because, they have some problems. So misery loves company. So if you're miserable and you see somebody doing well and being happy,
They don't like
you
it.
can't tolerate it. They want everyone to suffer like they're suffering and then they're happy.
That is true.
Unfortunately. So, but happy people are trying to make other people happy. So
Yeah.
it's better. Like in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he says one of his Yoga Sutra principles is make friends with happy people. Because one thing, people who are happy, it's because they're pious,
Mm.
right? Piety brings happiness, mode of goodness brings happiness, and happy people will also help you become happy. Attracted to people who are depressed and miserable, and they always befriend them and try to help them. And yeah, I mean, it's nice to be compassionate and help people, but you know, if you're always hanging out with those people, like they're your friends, then you're just going to end up miserable. Yeah, because the reason that they're not happy is because their, you know, consciousness is not very, yeah, low consciousness, and they'll try to drag you down with them. So, yeah, some good advice from Patanjali. Make friends with happy people. They should be happy though,
Yeah.
right? Because what's the use of beauty, wealth, and all these things if you're not happy, right? Okay, yeah.
I had a question like before coming to Krishna consciousness, we don't know what, like for example, if you have to do something, you have to, you're preparing for exam. So there is always a motivation for desires. Like you have some desires and there is a motivation to do that work.
Hmm.
Enthusiastic to work, but he does not, like how does
Doesn't care about success or failure.
Yeah, so enthusiasm comes when you have such motivation to do something.
Hmm.
So I was thinking now after Krishna consciousness, we can think that okay, this is for Krishna. So whatever distress come, they just change into austerity, and we think that okay, this is all for Krishna, and we do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So is this the right thought process? And
Yeah.
second thing is, like for example, if we study something and you like to study, you do not see for any uh, success or failure, but you are just studying. Then what that work is like, if you like doing something and you're not doing for success or failure, like making
I can.
beats,
Mhm.
beats talent. So you just like it, and what is the count of that work?
What is the count of it?
Like I mean, in which goodness, passion, or ignorance, in which
Oh.
that is called count.
I think I can understand better what you are saying because I am going through or I have went through all this. So whenever I'm just like studying for to increase my knowledge, especially like if I came across certain patient where I don't know what that is and I'm so curious, like I want to know what it is.
Mhm.
It brings me close to the mode of goodness because it enhances my curiosity and like all my like I'm thinking about it, I'm ruminating over it, and I'm like thinking and kind of like it's coming from a right place. But when I study for my boards, then it becomes mode of passion.
Mm. Mhm.
And when I don't, and also the time also matters. Like if you have small time, then you panic more, and
Yeah.
you have not studied, then you panic.
It's like out of a sense of personal achievement,
Yes.
right? So when your focus is on, I need to do this for my achievement so that I can get a promotion, so that I can one day open my own business or whatever, right? Then it's like mode of passion become influences, and it makes it miserable. Mode of passion always ends up in distress.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just like, oh, I should research about this, I would like to know more about this because it can help me do my service better, then you feel good about doing it.
If I study for my better job, then what does it count?
You're
I
gonna
think it's purified.
That is where it matters. Are you gonna donate?
Yeah. So, I mean, it says here, he does not care for success or failure. He's equal in both happiness and distress. So the thing is, it's not that the person in the mode of goodness doesn't try to be successful, right? It's like, obviously, if you're doing some work and it's your duty and you're doing it purposefully, you want it to be successful.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if it's a failure, you don't become discouraged, you don't lament, you don't, become depressed. You're just like, all right, well, I guess that wasn't meant to be. Krishna had another plan. Let me try to figure out what that other plan is.
Yeah, I
Right.
have one more thing.
Mhm.
So, like I said, like if I'm doing something out of curiosity and out of learning attitude, that I'm gonna learn anything out of it. And like maybe if I'm like if I'm engrossed into that work, then also it's good. I felt that. Like I'm not thinking about past or future, like what's gonna happen if I'm involved into that work.
Mhm.
Like they say, like yogesh karmasu kaushalam. What is that one? It's
Yeah.
also from Patanjali. So it's like if you are trying to achieve excellence into that work, then that is also kind of into goodness because you are not thinking about the result. You are trying to achieve, trying to do best into that thing.
Yeah, like always better service.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is also good. Unless you are thinking, oh, I'm gonna get something.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, it depends on your intention, your motivation for doing it. A lot of it depends on that. Right? Okay, so now let's see about the worker and the modes of passion. Ragi karma pala prepsur lubdo him satmako shuchihi harsha shokan vita karta rajasa parikirtitaha. Well, Alia, would you like to read text 27 of chapter 18?
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm here. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mood of passion. Purport: a person is too much attached to a certain kind of work or to the results because he has too much attachment for materialisms or heart and home, wife and children. Such a person has no desire for higher elevation in life. He is simply concerned with making this world as material comfortable as possible. He is generally very greedy, and he thinks that anything attained by him is permanent and never to be lost. Such a person is envious of others and prepared to do anything wrong for sense gratification. Therefore, such a person is unclean, and he does not care whether his hearing is pure or impure. He is very happy if his work is successful and very much distressed when his work is not successful. Such is the worker in the mood of passion.
Yeah, so this is the work and the mode of passion. Very attached to the work, attached to the results of work, attached to the success of his work. And if he doesn't get any of those things, then he gets very upset. If he can't do the work he wants, if he doesn't get the salary that he wants, if he, his business ventures or whatever fail, then he gets very, very angry and frustrated and depressed. So why? Because he wants to enjoy the fruits. So that's lust, right? Lust means desire to enjoy the fruits of your work. And then greedy, he says, who's always greedy. And then envious, always envious. So lust, anger, greed, envy, uncleanliness, right? Ashuchi is here. And moved by joy and sorrow means illusion, right? The illusion of thinking that these material things can make me happy. So the person in the mode of passion has a lot of anarthas. But if just like, a random person would read this, it's a random, non-devotee person would read this, they would actually think this is like nice, Person's very attached to their work because, they have love for their families, so they work very hard. And they're trying to make the world comfortable, trying to make the world a better place. They're always trying to, get themselves promoted, earn more money, try to make a nice permanent place here, right? They want to have a home that's permanent, that they own. They're always trying to keep up with the Joneses. And yeah, they're willing to do something immoral if it's necessary to get ahead. And of course, they're happy if their work is successful, and they're distressed when their work is not successful. So it's almost like normal. This is like modus operandi for people in material work. Right?
That's what you need to do.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So Kritika is saying this is exactly what we were taught to do by our parents. This is how you have to be to have a good life. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, work very hard, study very hard, get extra tuitions after school.
Oh
You have
my
to
God.
beat the other students, top your class, compete. And
What's wrong with you? Why are you not like behind my
work harder, earn more.
I have a question.
Yeah,
The main root of all this passion is coming from enjoying the fruits of the result. Is that the thing?
yeah, basically, yeah,
So lust is the main root.
yeah. Yeah, and also just ignorance, not knowing really what's valuable in life, not knowing really what the goal is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, now we'll go to the mode of ignorance. Ayukta prakrita stabda sato naiskritiko lasa vishadi dirga sudricha karta tamasa uchyate. Pragati.
The worker who is always engaged in working against the injunctions of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who is lazy, always morose, and procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. Purport: in the spiritual injunctions, we find what sort of work should be performed and what sort of work should not be performed. Those who do not care for those injunctions engage in work not to be done, and such persons are generally materialistic. They work according to the modes of nature, not according to the injunctions of the scripture. Such workers are not very gentle, and generally they are always cunning and expert in insulting others. They are very lazy. Even though they have some duty, they do not do it properly and they put it aside to be done later on. Therefore, they appear to be morose. They procrastinate anything which can be done in an hour. They drag on for years. Such workers are situated in the mode of ignorance.
All right, there you go. So, yeah, what they do for their work is against the injunctions of the scriptures. So they do all kinds of, nasty things to earn money, like, slaughterhouses. It's something to do with killing animals or, selling intoxication or gambling or prostitution or, there's so much money that people are making nowadays just based on like sex and violence, like in the media and all over, like promoting sex and violence, cheating others. Just like, I mean, like a lot of the food industry is like producing junk food and things that's destructive to people's health and their brains, And yeah, so these things are all destructive. And then who's obstinate? Yeah, stubda means stubborn. Even the word stubda sounds like stubborn. So you can't, yeah, they're just stuck in their ways. And then cheating, they're like very inclined to cheat others and expert in insulting others, right? There are people like that, expert in insulting each other. And then lazy, they don't want to do much at all. Like whatever work they need to do, they would rather just like find a way to get out of it or procrastinate and not get it done. So we have to be careful with these things, right? Because sometimes we also procrastinate. And so whenever we procrastinate, it's like attracting the mode of ignorance. And then mode of ignorance comes and gets us, and then we become covered by the mode of ignorance, and then it affects everything that we do too. So that's why it's good to understand, like whenever we have this tendency to cheat, because conditioned souls, we all have the tendency to cheat. So if we feel this tendency coming up, we need to like resist the urge to cheat, right? Because sometimes you think, oh, I could just lie, or I could just, cheat, or, do this little thing here and get some benefit that I'm not really entitled to. And I probably wouldn't get caught, I'd get away with it. Not really, because Krishna sees everything. And the modes of nature also, they respond. So as soon as we start cheating, or as soon as we insult someone, or we're being lazy and indulging in laziness, right? There's a difference between being tired and being lazy, right? Like tired is you've been working hard, you've been pushing your body and you really need to rest. But lazy is like, you already slept 10 hours and you're just like lying around in bed, like, I couldn't be bothered. That's like attracting the mode of ignorance. And then, procrastinating. So we have to be careful to not do these things, be proactive, right? Be regulated and proactive and active, dutiful, responsible, yeah, honest.
Interesting. It feels like almost it needs a constant checking on yourself.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just thinking, like, if I'm doing something, I have to check on myself with, like, what thing I'm doing it.
Mhm.
Like you said, like, it's a fine difference between if you're tired and resting and if you're lazy and resting.
Mhm.
So, if you're lazy and resting, that's more like you're trying to enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just kind of indulging in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah. You have to keep checking on yourself, like, for that, it needs awareness.
Mhm.
It does not come unless you,
If you keep track of your time, how much you're sleeping.
huh?
If we keep track of the time, how much you're sleeping, how much you're working, then we can calculate, okay, 10 hours done, not more than that, 8
Yeah.
hours done.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
sleeping.
for me, if I get like 6, 7 hours of sleep, like I'm good. So then, if I sleep for 7 hours and then I'm just like still feeling tired and I'm not sick, I'm sick, it's another thing. But if I'm not sick and I slept 7 hours, then I start feeling like, then I'll just be like, snap out of it. Probably would be you slept well last night, no excuses, get doing what you need to do.
It also depends on like person to person, right? Like some people are good at like 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Maybe some people need like 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, so we have to know ourselves, right? It depends on our age, it depends on our state of health,
Yeah.
it depends on, even our
Yeah.
mental health.
It's very personal actually,
Yeah.
like handcrafted for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to be self-aware. And then, yeah, what happens is, one time I was asking somebody, I needed somebody to do something for me. And I was thinking to ask a friend of mine, but I was thinking, oh, she's so busy. She has a zillion things going on. And I hate to ask her to do something else. And then another friend of mine said, no, they said that if you want to get something done, you should ask the busiest person. Because even though they're doing a million things, they'll get it done because they're a person who gets things done. And that's why they're doing so many things, is because they're active and they achieve things. But if you approach somebody who does nothing and they have all day, they won't do it. They won't get around to it. And they'll just be like, sorry, I didn't get to it, or I didn't have time, or wasn't feeling well, or whatever, they always have some excuse. So it's not about, the main thing is like if someone's in the mode of goodness and they're typically a proactive, productive, organized, efficient person, they're going to get things done. Right. And they can do a lot of things and you can ask them to do something. They're like, they'll schedule it in, they'll make a note of it, they'll organize it into their schedule. Yeah.
If someone feels insecure, then what is that coming from? Which mode? Ignorance or passion or
Insecure.
like you're insecure about something. Or maybe like you're insecure about future. What is that coming from? Ignorance?
Yeah.
Ignorance?
Yeah. Usually fear, because it's kind of
Yeah,
like it's a nuance of fear.
So fear is ignorance?
Yeah. Fear is a mode of ignorance because, the reason you're afraid is you don't know and you don't trust Krishna and you don't, you don't just trust that there's a supreme controller, basically.
Yeah.
And then passion is that you're trying to change the future. And then mode of goodness is like, all right, I'm just going to do my duty and leave it up to Krishna. And I trust that, Dharma protects those who follow it.
Yeah.
Krishna protects those who do the right thing to try to please him.
Like as you said about the person who are like, okay, they will get into the schedule and get the things done. Like I've seen you doing like reacting there and there on anything. How do we inculcate this habit of not procrastinating or
Oh,
doing things?
yeah, you just have to do it. I don't know. it's just a habit. Just get into a habit of being proactive, like looking ahead and being like, okay, I have this thing that I need to finish by this date, and I'm going to start now because then I can do a little bit every day and have it done. Right? Otherwise, if you wait till the end, let's say you have an exam coming up. It's like, if it's a big exam, you start studying for it like, a month, 2 months before. You're like a little bit a day revising. You make a schedule for your revisions and gonna, go over this chapter and then that chapter and make some notes and make some little flip cards for me or whatever, and you have a whole plan and you have it scheduled and then you just do it, right? And then by the time you go back and revise. Whereas somebody who procrastinates, like mode of ignorance, they're just like, whatever, the exam's not until 2 months from now. I don't even want to think about it. Just watch TV, go out, get drunk, whatever. And then it's like 2 days before the exam, they're like, oh, bro, we got this exam coming up, really got to study. So then they just, they'll just like stay up all night for 2 nights. And they'll be like, drinking a ton of coffee. And yeah, and then they'll be like and then they'll be like figuring out ways that they can cheat because they're even because even with 2 all-nighters, they're not going to be able to like study everything. So they'll figure out some cheating strategies.
That used to be my go-to for all my school years. Like study just like 2 or 3 days before the exam. That is how I was.
Mm.
And I would still top my class.
Yeah.
That is how I used to get the motivation. Like, I don't need to study because I would just study 2 days before and I would be again on the top of my class. I don't need to study. It was so horrible.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Now, what time? Oh, we don't have a lot of time. We can start the next section, text 29. So this is now, it's about different kinds of understanding, understanding and determination. So text 29. Buddher bedam dritesh chaiva gunatas trividam shrinu procyamanam asheshena pritakvena dhananjaya. Kritika?
O winner of wealth, now please listen as I tell you in detail of the different kinds of understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. Purport. Now, after explaining knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower in three different divisions according to the modes of material nature, the Lord is explaining the intelligence and determination of the worker in the same way.
Okay, so that was a little overview. So now let's get into understanding or intelligence in the mode of goodness. Pravittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya vetti buddhi sa partha sattviki. Alia, text 30.
O son of Prita, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. Purport: performing actions in terms of directions of the scriptures is called pravritti, or executing actions that serve to be performed, and actions which are not so directed are not to be performed. One who does not know the scriptural directions becomes entangled in the actions and reactions of work. Understanding, which discriminates by intelligence, is situated in the mood of goodness.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you see like a pattern here with the mode of goodness, that it's done according to the scriptures, right? So study the scriptures and they tell us this is pious activity, this is sinful activity, this is good activity that will elevate you, this is bad activity that will degrade you. And so okay, I'll do this. This is the right thing to do. This is the wrong thing to do. So I'll do the right thing. I'll avoid doing the wrong thing. That's mode of goodness. And then as far as what is to be feared and what is not to be feared. So yeah, person in the mode of goodness knows that, like Prabhupada said, that we should have a healthy fear of Maya, right? We should fear the illusory energy of the Lord that drags us into materialism, that basically degrades us. So fearing bad influence, bad association. You should be afraid of offending devotees, right? Basically all the things that destroy our Krishna consciousness and pull us away from spiritual values, because that's the real danger. Other than that, there's not really any danger in this world. But we shouldn't be afraid of, material situations that could be difficult. We just need to trust Krishna's protection, take necessary precautions, and be intelligent. Right? So
I have a question. How do you deal with people who are like more like offending the devotees? So should you be telling them that they're offending someone, or you should just listen to them, or not say anything, or what you should do?
if somebody's being offensive, like criticizing devotees
Yeah.
to you, or you're hearing it, yeah. So one thing you can do is try to counteract it by praising that person, right? Like they're criticizing someone, you can say, actually, that person has a lot of really good qualities. They did this, they said this nice thing. I appreciate them for this. And then that could influence the person's mind favorably or cause them to at least balance their view on the person. If the person really is really envious of the person and they just don't want to hear any good thing about them, then you might just have to be like, I don't want to hear this, And if they still keep criticizing, be like, all right, I gotta go. So you can try to turn it around and make it positive, or you just need to leave.
What about some people who like make fun of like some of the I've heard from people like even the regulative principles, some of them make fun of it. That should not be the case, right?
Yeah, one time Vijay was giving class when I was in Gainesville, and he said that one thing we should not joke about is the four regulative principles. Because if we start thinking that it's just a joke, then we can just take it lightly and think it's not very important for us to follow. And then that'll be like the end of our principles, Yeah.
Yeah, because if you are making fun of it, that means like, yeah, your mind is connecting to like, yeah, I mean, you're just connecting it with fun, like not important, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just if somebody's doing that, you just leave that place, or what should you do?
Or you can say, I don't feel comfortable with this humor,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I'm not sure if that was appropriate or,
Yeah.
And then it depends on who it is, like if they're your friends or something, you can say that. If it's like a senior person, someone who's not gonna listen to you, that you're not in a position to, call out or something, then you just leave, Just be like, all right, guys, gotta go.
And such people are very kind of influencers. That's the reason they do all these things.
Yeah. Yeah, so don't be influenced by them. You have to get away from them so you don't become influenced by them. Yeah. All right, yeah, and then what is binding and what is liberating? So the person in the mode of goodness knows. This is a good intelligence, and they can understand, okay, if I do this, I'm going to be entangled. If I do this, I'm going to be liberated. And it's important to know what is binding, what is liberating, because ultimately we don't want to have to take birth again in the material world.
Did Joe talk to you? You never got any text messages?
On the group, there she sent some.
About the drama practice?
Yeah. there's-
Yeah, we are gonna go.
Right after the class.
Mm.
She wanted you guys like.
Oh, she didn't
The
say
same-
that. No,
Because today's the dress.
wait. She said only the Krishna and Balaram have to be dressed. She didn't say anything else.
Yeah, I don't think it's that.
Wait.
Yeah, she said to dress.
Huh?
Yeah, you guys can bring. Up there. They're also gonna record today. Because they wanna have 2 recordings. Recording the practice and then recording the day out in case anything. Yep. Anyway, that's all.
We just have 5 minutes left here anyway.
Okay.
So let's read understanding in the mode of passion. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam eva cha ayatavat prajanati buddhi sa partarajasi. I'll just read this. O son of Pritha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. Yeah, so the person in the mode of goodness has good intelligence. They can discriminate between what's to be done, what's not to be done, so forth. But the person in mode of passion is lacking discrimination. They literally don't know what is right and what is wrong, what is to be done, what is not to be done. They just do whatever feels good to them, right? Their principle is if it feels good, do it. If I can earn money this way, do it. If I can get ahead in life, do it. You know, and they don't care about principles. And then mode of ignorance, adharmam dharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrita sarvartam viparitamscha buddhi sa partha tamasi. Okay, Pragati, go ahead.
That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance.
Go ahead.
Intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working the opposite of the way it should be. It accepts religion which are not actually religions and reject actual religion. Men in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah, so in the mode of goodness, people know what is right, what is wrong, and they do the right thing. In the mode of passion, they don't know what's right or what's wrong, and they just do whatever they feel like. And that person in the mode of ignorance, they just always do the wrong thing because that's what their ignorance drags them to. So, yeah, I thought this was very, we see this playing out in the world today, that people, they reject the actual religion, like Krishna consciousness, oh, that's a cult. But then they'll go and worship, some pop idol or something, or a football player or something, like that's their religion. Yeah, and they take that person to be a great soul, even though it's just some, like pumped up person who's on drugs and crazy, and you know what I mean?
Not a pop star.
Pop star, yeah. And they'll take a actual great soul to be just a common person, or even like they'll think they're a loser or something. So, yeah, they think that truth, like the existence of God, the path of bhakti, that we're not these bodies, we're spirit souls. They take that to be untruth, and they accept all these lies that society feeds them, that you only live once and you should, purpose of life is to just enjoy your senses, and that happiness comes through, sex and intoxication and gambling and eating meat, and they accept that as truth.
Vegetarians are foolish, you should eat protein.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Meat eating is
Yeah. So,
Tell them. How do you get your protein?
right. Because they think if you're a vegetarian, you're eating only salad. That's why it's ignorance, because they don't know. They're talking. Okay, I guess we better end because you guys got to get ready. We're meeting at 5 too. So thank you very much, Alia and Divya and everybody out there on YouTube. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada
Bye.
ki
Thank you
jai.
for listening.